Howdy out there, I'm Turbo Ted, and I want to welcome you to Johnny's Garage.
Back in the late 20th century, there was a place that created champions. A place that made men. That legendary place is talked about today. That place is...
All right, welcome to another edition of Johnny's Garage. You know me, you know the big guy on the bottom.
Hey, Johnny's Nation.
And we got a special guest today. A lot of people don't know this, but in the year of 93, before the big man on the bottom was even in the business, he was in the business, and I was young in the business when we met this man. He's known as the Rockin' Rebel, known as Dangerous Donnie. He's known a few other names if you've ever gotten drop kicked from him. Mr. Donnie Martin up on the top there.
What's going on, people?
Actually, you're wrong, Bogue. I met Donnie in 91. He was running Southern States Wrestling, and I went to one of his shows with my girlfriend at the time and ended up meeting him then.
Okay, so you were just a little bit before.
Yeah, well, I seen you at the shows because I was running cameras for Donnie filming for Southern States.
Right, that was about 1993 for me, 93, 94 area.
Yeah, we'd train, we'd get in the trunk of a Cadillac and film us running, jogging up the road by Johnny's Garage. You remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but we're on track here. Me and Martin, we're on track to get all the Johnny's Garage alumni on here. And Donnie might not have started in the garage, and he went a lot of different ways. But
oh yeah, I started at Johnny's.
Well, I know that you've gotten some Florida training and all that.
Oh yeah.
He's alumni through and through. He's probably hit some of them parts on the part shelves himself.
Yep. After I traded with Johnny, I went to Florida and Sika and Coquina. Well, everybody knows him as Yokozuna, but I stayed down there with them for 2 or 3, 4 years.
That's when Jamal was a kid.
Yeah, who?
Jamal Eke.
Oh yeah. Yep, I met all of them. Samu, he was there. Me and him were real good friends. He worked for WCW, he was Somalian SWAT team, before he turned into what was that? Him and his brother turned into the Wild Somalians or something. What was it? I can't remember.
Samoan Headhunters?
Huh?
Was it the Headhunters?
Yeah,
the Samoan Headhunters.
Yeah, that's right. Sure was. And then his son, when Sika's grandson started wrestling, the one with the painted face, and then the other one, I can't remember his name, the one that died.
You're talking Umaga?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Eke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of them, I'd go down to stay at Coquina's and we'd have rice and chicken every weekend. And Coquina would have his boom box playing his rap. He loved that rap music. Boy, he loved that rap music. He had a remote control on his on his radio, on his CD player. But them were good old days.
What was your first area that you ran in? Was it in Florida?
The shows?
Yes.
No, we started Southern States here, me and Johnny and Pete got together and we needed a ring. And I told them that I would pay for the building for the rent to help pay for the ring, So that's what happened. I was making pretty good money, so I would rent the building for us to have the matches in, and then first thing would come off the top was the money to pay on the ring that we had built. And that ring, who's got the ring now? I know Pete still had it for a long time. Remember that
He
old
sold
ring?
it to he sold it to Kenny Hart that used to run the shows up in Oxford, but Kenny had moved up somewhere in the Midwest, and so when Johnny's garage closed for good, uh, Pete let Johnny sell the ring to recover some of the money he needed.
Yeah.
So the ring went up north somewhere, and though as far as I know, Ken Hart's dead now. I don't know what happened to the ring.
Yeah. Well,
That was a good ring.
we got the money's worth
Oh,
out of it.
that son of a gun was a booger to set up, though. That was one of the heaviest daggone rings, man. My God. But
It
speaking of
was.
rings, Donnie, we do this to every Johnny's alumni that gets on here. We ask one question, and what I'm gonna ask you the same question is, please describe for our listening audience what it was like in Johnny's training ring.
Oh my goodness. Well, you could learn to wrestle, but you couldn't do too many high spots in there. The roof was low, couldn't come off the top rope. You better watch if you jump over the top rope. But
Oh
the floor was so we'd have to work on it before we even got the ring to work out, to try to get it where we could run across there. You remember your feet when you first started? You
yeah,
had
oh
big
yeah,
feet. We had to get you where you could run on that dang floor in that ring because it was so uneven.
yep.
Yeah.
Had that tore up canvas on it.
Yeah.
Uh, I trained in that ring for a while with that tore up canvas on it. And
Yep.
when I quit stumbling and tripping, Johnny says, "Okay, we can put the new canvas on." And so he had one over there on the shelf, and I never knew about
Yeah. Well, I remember every Saturday morning I was up there, whether I've been out partying all night or what, I would go up to Johnny's on Saturday morning. And
Yep.
back then, everybody would, I forget what he charged, but everybody would say, well, I ain't got all that. Can I just pay your payments? And they'd say, he'd just let them. But I think back then I was the only one that ever paid him off, that had begun when I was there. Uh, Everybody would drop out. I think out
Yeah.
of every 10 people that wanted to train, there'd be one or two that kept going, because it
If
wasn't
that
easy.
many. No. Well,
That
that
ring,
ring was so. You remember how soft that ring was, don't you, Donnie?
yeah, really. Yeah, that's like I was telling John earlier. With Pete Hayes, when I went up there to talk to Johnny to work, Pete Hayes was there. He said, well, come here, let's get in here and see what you got. He said, snatch a headlock. Snatched a headlock and picked me up and bellied the back. Boom. Hurt my neck right at
Boom.
the start. I had a hurt neck the rest of my life. All kind of feet.
I can't believe people do
Oh, he did it to everybody that come in there. He
that.
was
Trust me, I know.
And I thought his nickname was
I know.
Sweetness.
yeah, Stiffy Pete.
Yeah. Uh,
You know,
I caught one of them. Go ahead, Bo.
I think Pete only did that stuff to the people he loved, and the people that he hated, I seen what he did to them. So I'm glad he liked me. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
I
yeah, he
will.
was a
I'll
mess.
second that, man.
Him and
Yeah.
old Jesse, the ministers of death. Remember?
Yep.
And
Yep. And that's
And then remember
it,
I run Wetumpka from in the late eight or well no, let's say the early 90s to 93 or 94. And we got to where we'd use Alan Martin a lot. And Johnny Rich, we'd use him some. And then Alan got him a gimmick going. He said, hey man, how about me doing $100 challenge? You know, I challenge anybody to get in the ring. If they last a minute or two with me, they get $100. And I said, I don't know, man. You know, we might get sued or something like that. He said, well, you know, I sort of pick out who I want to put in here. I said, all right. And then he got this guy in there, Worm. You remember Worm was a manager. Well,
Bill
his
Denham's
brother,
brother.
yep. And he happened to get his brother up there was drinking one night, and Iron Sheik was working with us that night. And
Yeah.
or my cousin BJ, and then the fugitive, he wasn't wrestling back then, but he was a security. And uh, Alan did the $100 challenge, and Denham's brother got up and shook his head and said, I'll get in there and get me $100. And as soon as he stuck his head in the ring, Alan kicked the heck out of him in the head and about 2 times, and he flipped backwards outside the ring and landed on top of his head. And the security was happened to be right in front of the camera that I had set up. And BJ said, is that real or not? And Kenny said, I don't know. He said, you think we should help him up? He said, no, I don't think we want to mess with him. But that
I was running the camera on the floor that night. I had the walking camera, and I caught every bit of that. And I remember somebody erasing that footage because they was scared of liability.
Well, you remember, then he stole the guy he knocked out of the ring. Alan knocked out of the ring. He stole Iron Sheik's gallon of vodka, and Iron Sheik was madder than heck. Boy, he was ready to whoop some butt, but he let it go. And but you talking about that? Remember when Johnny Rich? He was in there, and they had a match, Alan and Johnny Rich, and they had some good heat going. And Alan was out of the ring hitting Johnny, and this woman and man, the woman started cussing him like everything, and then the woman reached over and tried to slap him, and Alan hit her husband in the face. And the next thing you know, here the guard at the armory pulled a gun, and then he put it up, and then anyway, Alan got arrested, and we had to all go down. I had to go down there and get him out of jail, but they dropped the
Alan
charges
actually
on
told that story. Alan told that story when we had him on here. He said the man and woman never showed up to court, so they threw it all out.
Yeah.
That he went to court like 4 times, and those people never showed up, and the judge finally dismissed it.
And you remember the time we had wrestling there, and it was bad weather, and the lights went out. There was over 150 or so people there that night. And we went out there and told them, said, we're sorry, we're going to have to cancel the show. We'll give you money back. And the people started chanting and hollering and clapping and said, we won't go. We won't go. So we pulled 3 cars into the armory and shined the lights on the ring and had the wrestling that night with car lights on the ring. That's all the lights we had. That was something else. That really showed you we had diehard fans back in them days. We might have not had 15,000, but the ones that come, they were there because they loved it.
Yeah,
I didn't know Spider could scream that loud.
I don't know if you remember this, Donnie. You brought me in, and I think it was a pity thing because I was still young in the business, and you gave me a spot because I rode up there with Mark Owens, and I was tag teaming, and the whole preposition of the thing was as I was starting to do the moonsault, I put the first team out. It was a 4-way.
Yeah, you was the only one did that back then with our group, yeah.
And then the next team that got out, I did the moonsault on. And then I was coming up and I was going to put Mark out. And by that time I had done like 5 moonsaults. And on the last one, both of my knees went straight into Mark's nuts. Oh yeah, he got pinned. He laid there quickly and got pinned.
I imagine so.
I want to tell you first off, thank you for giving me a chance and taking a shot at somebody who didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, you did good, man. You did good. You made something of it, man. You love it. I know you love
I
it.
could say the same thing because Donnie, you started me in wrestling. were the one that started training me and took me in and started teaching me all the moves, started teaching me how to bump and teaching me how to take care of myself, And that was, man, that was forever ago.
Yeah, it
Good
was.
Lord, are
It
we
was
getting old?
fun. Yeah, really.
And
But yeah, and it shows how much y'all love the business. I mean, look what y'all do now. You try to keep everybody going in touch with each other, and you do this convention. I mean, not convention, but this meeting every year. To get everybody together to come around and all. I mean, and this show here, and it just shows how much you care about it, man. I mean, you love it. It's a part of our
Well,
lives.
we want the world to
the
know what we all
sad,
did.
yeah. Well, there's more to it than that. That's the cut down there. The sad statement is we were probably the last generation of wrestlers that were family. But
Yeah.
when we were in there, we were family. We took care of each other. We looked out for one another, and we really were family. We could hate each other's guts, but if somebody from the outside stepped in, we'd both turn and beat their butt, and then go back to beating each other. It
Yeah.
really was family. And I hate that that is something that wrestling has lost.
Yeah, it's not nothing no more. I mean, the entertainment part of it has took over all the way, really, or something. It's not like you said. It's not the family, or you love that brother because he's a part of you growing up in the business, and you watch each other grow, and you try to protect each other. But it's just something so much different now. I can't put my finger on it all the way, but you can tell.
It's it's
Yeah.
it's become what they call whitewashed, and all the anything that could be an entertainment, anything that might piss somebody off or make somebody mad. Now it's come down to an acrobatic entertainment
Yeah.
art form.
Yeah. And like the
Yeah.
moves, I mean, you used to have a high spot. Maybe you have two or three high spots, but you didn't have no 15 or 20 high spots in a match. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
they got it
Oh
like
God.
now. It's just like, ooh. Have you seen the commercials about Hulk Hogan's new wrestling coming out in August?
I
No.
He's got a new thing coming out, and nobody wants to join it, and everybody that ain't nobody wants to join it. So
Yeah, it's real. What do they call it though? I can't think of the
is
name
it
of
Real
it.
American Wrestling or something?
Something
Oh yeah.
it's mat wrestling and it's real. I mean, there's nobody calling the shots of who's gonna win or not. It's up to the two guys in there fighting. So
Well, I'll tell
I
you one
mean,
person that won't be in there. Hogan won't be in there wrestling in that.
no,
He'll be
definitely
sitting on
not.
the side watching.
Mhm. Can you imagine the kind of injuries they're gonna have in there, though? Because they're each one of them is really trying to do whatever. I mean, there's gonna be broke
Yeah,
bones. There's gonna be knocked out teeth and all. It's gonna be like ultimate fighting and wrestling mixed, I guess.
It
I
is.
guess so, man.
But now,
It's gonna be
Donnie,
like training at Johnny's.
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
Donnie, I'm gonna have to be the bad guy and break up this good fast. But you mentioned something about stiff and injuries.
Yeah.
And the one thing that brings to mind was your drop kick off the top rope.
Yeah. Well, my
I
wings were
took
sort of
that I
broke.
took that once. The second time you went to do it, I stepped out of the way. Now, Martin, I know you've gotten it,
oh yeah,
or he at least tried to get you with it.
yeah. Didn't know
I,
where to cover up. You
But
didn't know where to cover up. You never knew where he was going to hit you.
I tell you what, that reminds me of Fugitive when he first started wrestling his first match. He begged me to wrestle. I said, "All right, you're gonna go with me tonight." So we get out there, we're gonna go to the finish, and it's gonna be a drop kick off the top rope. He got in there and he got a little scared, so he backed all the way up to the other dang corner, And it took all I could do to push myself to him. And by the time I got to him, I kicked him about at his bottom rib and broke his bottom rib. But I said, man, you shouldn't have moved back so far. He said, hell, what would it have done if I'd have stayed closer? You might have broke them all.
Well,
Fugitive started training the same time I did. We were always training together.
Yeah.
And I mean, y'all boys right there were too much for me. Y'all be out partying all night and come in there and train the next day. Man, I couldn't do that. That was too much. Oh,
let me
God.
tell you, I saw you later in your career and you learned how to do it. And I know there was many a night
Hey.
we partied and ended up training.
Well, you know,
I'm
one thing.
going to speak up. Go ahead, Don.
No, go ahead.
I'm going to speak up on your behalf. Before I retired, I was doing a show over in Prattville at the National Guard Armory. And I'm sitting in the locker room and I'm looking around and there's nothing but new guys. I don't know anybody in there. And I'm going, holy cow, man, I'm going to have to wrestle one of these youngins tonight. And I was dreading it. And then Donnie walks into the locker room and he's walking through there and he's kind of looking at everybody. And I spoke to him. I said, hey, Donnie. And he's looked up and said, hey, can I wrestle you tonight? And I said, yeah. And so we wrestled each other because neither one of us wanted to wrestle any of the guys over there. And we had the match of the night that night. We showed out, man.
Yep.
We had that audience rocking. Heck yeah.
It was the days, you know, when I got into it, everybody talked about, oh, wrestling's fake. How can you even like that? I said, look, you can think what you want to. I said, but wrestling is a sporting entertainment. I said, sure, it might be some things called in there, or you might know who's going to win sometime. I said, but if you think that it's not real, you get in there with me or somebody else that's been in there a while, and you'll see that it's real as far as jumping around, drop kicking, hitting. And the ones that I got trained with, you know, like Pete and them, they didn't try to like knock you out, but when you got hit, you knew you were really hit. When you got drop kicked, same thing, clothesline.
They tried to put you out of the business.
Yeah, I mean, you had to show that you had heart to stay in there to do it. I mean, that you wasn't just like, you know, some people, and you've seen them come in and want to train. Yeah, I want to be a wrestler, and they get kicked or something or hit, and next thing you know, they don't show up the next time. I mean, no pain, no gain. You know.
That was another difference from our time to today, is we had to earn our spot starting from day one.
Yeah.
You had to prove that you were tough enough to be there to begin with, and then you had to earn your stripes all the way through. It wasn't nothing was given, you know, and you had to be hungry for it. And now is give me. Those guys walk in, order some boots on the internet, and bam, they're wrestlers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I remember you couldn't buy boots unless somebody trainer told you where to order them from, who to buy them from. You know? Back in the day, man, it was a secret.
First boots I got, they belonged to a beautiful Bobby. I bought them from somebody when I was working for WCW. When I first started wrestling, I went barefooted. I sure did down in Florida. And then somebody turned me on to those boots. I forget who it was, but they had beautiful Bobby's boots, and the zipper was tore up. So when I put them on, I'd have to put some my athletic tape around it to stay on my leg, you know, because the zipper was broke till I got it fixed. But yeah, you know, the feeling like when you get there to a show and you get in the dressing room, it starts hitting you a little bit. But when you get dressed out and you there waiting to go out and you see them people excited about seeing you getting out there performing for them, it's like you turn into that person that you are in the ring. You know what I mean? Like I turned into the Rockin' Rebel, or if I was a bad guy, I'd turn into Dangerous Donnie. But either way, you know, it was like a high, really. It was like a high, you know, to be able to know, hey, these people come to see me, and I'm gonna go out here and give the best that I can to these people, you know. And that's really
Yeah.
what I miss now. You know, I really miss that.
That adrenaline
I
rush
think we
is a
all
hell
do.
of a thing to lose.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But it was
That's what I
hard.
told. I was talking to Robert Gibson. I was talking to Robert Gibson not too long ago, and he was talking about his back hurting, and I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
Everything hurting. And I said, "Well, I know the cure for a backache." And he said, "Oh yeah, what is it?" And I said, "Entrance music."
That's
They start
exactly
playing
right.
that music, and all your pain goes away.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You know, and when I started slacking off, you know, me and Steve Armstrong, we traveled for 5 or 6 years together, and things started happening and it's getting worse, you know, the shows and not having them set up and stuff. And so things got slack. And then next thing you know, you might wrestle once a month or once every 2 months, you know. And then you get where you ain't going, and it's just like a part of you's gone. You know what I'm saying? It's like you know, I mean, I like Donnie, but I love the Rebel. I love that when I go somewhere, people would notice it, you know, who you are because they've seen you so much. And then when you turn into just the average person, you have to get used to that because that's all you are at the beginning anyway. You're just a person, just like everybody else. You was in a profession that gave you that, uh, you know, that pump and that hey, look, there's a Rebel, or you know, that notoriety and all of that. But nothing lasts forever, and the thing you got is memories. That's what keeps you going when you get old.